All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Empathic Interfacing Live. So, a special episode of New Earth TV Live today. I'm happy that you're all here. Thank you very much for being here, as well. Just feeling a very good day today. Feels great. Woke up this morning and just feels like an energy of beautiful light just shining down. So I'm feeling great. I hope you guys are feeling great as well too. Of course, with every webcast, we start off with announcements, so we'll go ahead and get into them now. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com. And of course, the Healing Code cards, Body Deck and Mind Deck, are available through healingcodecards.com. Currently, on Amazon.com, the Mind Deck is sold out. There's another batch that's on the way from Amazon, but it's been taking quite a bit of time, right? Customs has been a bit of a pain. So hopefully it should be there in the next few days. But again, if you're looking to grab a hold of the Healing Code Cards Mind Deck printed edition, then just go to healingcodecards.com. Whether you're in Canada, US, anywhere over the world, you can go there. From what I know, Amazon.ca still has some Mind Deck printed editions ready to go. And of course, the Body Deck you can order there as well. And of course, you can grab the digital editions of both the Body Deck and the Mind Deck through healingcodecards.com. And of course, Adronis, the Cosmic Administration. This will be happening next Saturday on March 13th. I think we only got about 4 or 5 spots left. So it's good for you to just act now, grab them while they're there. We are almost sold out. Okay, so we got about 4 or 5 more registration spots available. So just go to newearthteachings.com, click on the poster. You'll be taken to the registration page, and you can go ahead and click on that, and you'll be a part of the Cosmic Administration webinar. So again, for those of you who will not be able to make it, but really want to see this, in case we are sold out, which is pretty much going to happen, this is going to be available on demand as well too. Just as the previous webinars are available through Vimeo on demand, this one will be as well too. So you can check that out. It's really going to be a very insightful, very deep, conversational webinar that Adronis is going to share. It's going to go very, very deeply into a lot of the behind the scenes work about what's happening behind the scenes, about the nature of the Cosmic Administration, kind of looking into the in-between incarnations as well too. There's a lot of good stuff that he's going to be sharing. So again, if you act fast, you can grab a registration spot. Again, just go to newearthteachings.com, click on that poster, and you can register today. Okay, so we are going to bring in here momentarily Athena of the Delphi, and we'll be having a conversation with her for a little bit. And afterwards, we'll be bringing in RaYaR, and RaYaR will be coming through, and she'll be doing a language of light transmission as well too. So I just want to say hello to everybody who's on the chat right now. Hope you guys are all doing well. A lot of things have been happening with me, especially this past week as well too. I'm actually moving into the ketogenic food plan, right? I don't really prefer the words diets anymore. But I've tried many different forms of plans previously, pretty much you name it. The one thing that I've not tried really is the ketogenic. So this is actually working quite well. I've only been on it now just for a couple of days. Yesterday, I was feeling kind of like the side effects of the, they call it the keto flu, but it's not really a flu. It's not a flu at all. It's just at times you may not feel like you're very focused. You don't have a lot of concentration. You kind of feel tired. You kind of feel fatigued. So yeah, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go into keto. I was actually talking to my partner, my girlfriend, about it because she's doing it as well too. And I said, you know what, honey, I'll do this with you, right? So you and I will do it together. And she was telling me about a lot of people give the keto a bad rep. And like I said, it's very important that you're doing your own research. It's very important that you're looking into these things yourself. You can be a vegetarian and you can do the ketogenic food plan, right? You don't have to be a meat-eating carnivore to feel that you have to be. You have to have that, and then that's the only way you can do keto. No, you have to bring fats into your body, but what you're doing is you're not just munching on a big, gigantic, prime rib steak, or you're just drinking down a bunch of fat ooze or something like that. That's nasty, right? It's nothing like that. In fact, what I notice is that people who actually eat a lot of fat don't actually lose weight from keto, right? So what you're doing is you're doing everything in moderation. You're doing a gradual process right? I basically just do it in kind of a moderate way. Like I have eggs, I have fish, I have chicken, right? I know the medical medium says don't eat eggs, but from what I'm getting from my own guidance and saying, you know what, it's actually okay, right? Because I've just looked back into Jesus. I mean, I've been eating eggs since I was a little kid, and I've never had a problem whatsoever. So I mean, I've always had that enjoyment of eating eggs. Once in a while I'll have fish and chicken as well too, but I'll have avocado, right? You'll have oils as well too. You have cashews, you have almonds. So you have your fat supply in that way, but you're not horking it down and becoming 800 pounds or anything of that nature, right? It's not about that. It's just, again, what you're really doing is just phasing out sugar, which was one of the most horrible things for me. Growing up, I was a sugar junkie. I was a sweet tooth, and I was seeing exactly what the sugar was doing to me, right? And now just starting to go into the keto food plan, I'm actually withdrawing from that sugar, and I can feel actually how much more energized I am, right? I'm not going into the sugars, the carbs, right? You're keeping the carbs very, very low. And then you're just starting to go in your own pace. Like I said, if you're a vegetarian, then do the vegetarian-based keto, okay? If you like the idea of being omnivorous or light meat eater, then you do that, right? So I know there's a gigantic food war with people and food plans and everything. Just, if you don't eat this, then you're horrible, then you're this. Guys, it's just a person's choice to decide what they want to eat, right? What I always suggest is just bless your food, right? Whenever you're having your food, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, just bless it. Just give thanks for whatever you're eating, whether you're eating vegetables, whether you're eating fruit, whether you're eating meat, whatever it is. Just bless your food. Make it beautiful to you, right? So again, this is what I'm doing right now, and why I really wanted to do the keto was, one, weight loss. Second thing was just getting off the sugar. The sugar was really, really harsh for me. Like I said, I've been, as a little kid, I've been on that sugar binge for a very long time, right? Just eating chocolate bars. I mean, that's what I was doing as a kid, like eating chocolate bars and candies and jubes and jelly beans and all that stuff, right? And I was just a major sugarholic. And then you get into keto and you don't want any of that stuff. And I said, that's a big shift for me. That works well because I have been this sugar crazed person. I even not in the too recent past, I've really enjoyed chocolate and the idea again of sweets, right? Even when you're eating fruit as well too. It's great, but again, you're still getting that sweetness, right? And you want to try and cut past that if again, you've just become a major sweet tooth, right? So you're learning to get off that a little bit more. And then when you go more into keto, as you start to go into ketosis, then you can slowly start to introduce a little bit of that back together. But basically, your body is operating on a new fuel source, and that's fat. So it's taking your fat stores, and it's processing that into energy, and you lose a lot of weight. So that certainly is my take on it. The medical medium is great. I really love Anthony William. He's great. There's a couple things, like I said, I haven't agreed with him on, such as the eggs, such as his interpretation of the keto. But I mean, I'm like that with everybody. I've never met a person who's, oh my God, they're 100% perfect. I agree 100% with everything they're saying. No, I mean, with Anthony William, it's maybe about 97%, right? 97, 98%, which is quite high. That's quite good. Even with my newfound friend, Forrest Knudsen. We're finding some very good commonalities. Like I watch his videos and I see what he's sharing as well too, and I think it's great. There may be some things that he maybe is not covering yet that I'm covering, and I'm seeing how he responds to that in that way. And so again, I just meet these good people, and I agree with the majority of what they say, but it's not expected to 100% agree with another person. If you do that, then I think that turns into an opinion religion. I think you're almost in that sense turning that into a religion all by itself. So you want to be aware of that. It's okay to disagree with people. It's okay to feel that you have a different perspective, because really what I look for at most is through my own source, right? And my own source is saying, yeah, Brad, go on the keto. Do the keto plan, right? Get off sugar. Get off carbs. Make that as low as you can. And then start working with the keto plan. And then over time, you'll get into ketosis. You'll develop ketones. And then you'll be able to have your body use that as a new fuel source. And now you're losing this weight, right? Because right now I'm about 235 pounds, right? I'm looking to get down maybe to about 205, around there. So about 30 pounds of weight is something that I really want to clear out. You guys have seen my belly in the past as well too. That's what dear old sugar has done for me, right? And of course, yeah, there's been some fat intake as well too. But when you're transforming your body so that fat becomes the primary fuel source, that's going to go really, really quickly. So I'm looking forward to that when the time for ketosis comes. So that is my recommendation, guys. If you want to do ketosis, check within yourself. Not because this person wants to do it or that person wants to do it because my girlfriend did it. That's great. But if I felt that I didn't have any rapport to do that, I'd say, okay, well, you enjoy it to the best of your ability, and I won't bother with it. No, there is synergy there. She's doing it. I'm doing it because I'm feeling inside. That would be the best thing for me to do. So this has really just been my whole week, is just basically altering my food plan and getting more into the ketogenic. So this is my third day on the keto plan altogether. All right. Okay, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the Empathic Interfacing Live. So again, as I put up this picture here, you'll see a rendition of Athena of the Delphi. So if you've tuned into past Empathic Interfacing Lives, I've always suggested just looking at this rendition of Athena of the Delphi. And this is a close approximation for it. It's not exact, but it's a close approximation. And again, if you feel drawn to connect with her and visualize her in that particular way, you can. That's kind of how I've seen her in that way, just that she has much more lighter eyebrows. But again, feel free to use that picture if you want to, again, interconnect together with her, as I'll be connecting with her today as well. All right. And then, of course, we go through kind of like the empathic interfacing process where we do the 3 tiers, right? We look into personal love, we look into universal love, and then we look into God love. All right. So basically, I do the 3 tiers in that way to connect with her, and you guys can do that alongside with me as well. So I'll be a moment here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with empathic interfacing. Okay, and I'm having a lemon water, in case you guys are wondering. All right, so I will go ahead now and just get into the state. Go ahead and bring Athena in, and then I'll just be asking Athena what's new. She was kind of very happy to speak with me last night. I was just interfacing with her just last night. I was saying, well, what are we going to speak about? She says, oh, you'll see. You'll see when you talk to me. But it's like good news and happiness, and she's nodding her head, so big smile on her face. So everything feels like it's going well on her side of things. Okay, so I will take a moment now, and we will begin the empathic interfacing state. So the first thing we're doing is we're going into personal love. So again, if you guys have been doing the BCR technique, this should be old hat to you. This should be very natural. And as I connect with Athena now, I'm just seeing her in this white void. I'm seeing her cross-legged, sitting upon the floor. And I say to Athena, I am completely centered in my personal love state. Athena, are you aligned with me? And the answer is yes. Okay. Now we move on to the second tier. We're going into universal love. So it's like you're just seeing the entire cosmos within yourself. You're imagining like your body are the stars, are the galaxies. And you're just feeling that pure love. It's like a song of the universe, and it's just enriching your soul. Your light just becomes brighter and brighter. And you realize that you are the universe, that you are the cosmos, that you are all of creation. Athena, I am completely within my universal state of love. Are you aligned with me? She is. Okay. And now we move on to the third state, which is the God love state, where you simply are. You are the isness. You are everything that exists. You are simply knowing. You are still. And Athena, I am within my God love state. Are you in alignment with me? She is. All right. So we have done the 3 tiers of connection. So I am now connecting with Athena right now. So she has a very warm, welcoming smile on her face. She's very happy that we're all here with her. Okay. So her eyes are closed as well too. She's basically kind of seated in like a lotus posture. She has kind of this really nice white, I guess you should say cloak or kind of gown on in that way. She has kind of like that long hair. It's kind of just sitting down. It's kind of goes down to around the middle area of her back, around mid-back area. So I'm just kind of describing how she looks with me. Okay. And I'm just, again, sending warm welcome, warm appreciation, warm love to Athena. And Athena, is there anything that you want to share with us today? She says, we have gone through a breakthrough. We have reached a new level of reality. We have reached a new level where all of the old agendas are fading away. There has been so much more agreement happening in the inner earth relating to other inner territories. There is so much unification happening. It is like a space where everybody is getting together and they're able to share the conflicts that they have had in the past. But there is so much support within this large gathering that many other races, some are human, some are reptilian, some are insectoid, some are even that of the Sasquatch races, where there has been very much to what you would call a support group, where again we meet within this collective reality. We meet within this womb of loving, supporting reality, and we are all there for each other. Where there has been conflict, where there has been hurt, where there has been pain, there has been support, there has been love, there has been compassion. Many are helping the one or the few that have had their ordeals relating to pain, relating to heavy conflict, relating to war. And there is much more cooperation that is taking place with those whom we interact with within the inner earth, far more than there ever has been, even going back millions of years. This is a breakthrough. And we will say to many of you that you too are going through a breakthrough. Because through your love, through your togetherness, through your true unification, you are slowly and surely dissolving these agendas that were originally designed to enslave you all. You're breaking through. You're puncturing it. You're cracking the snow globe that represents these old systems of control. More of you are coming together. What is very important at this time are for those who have broken through to look back and see those who are afraid, those who are very scared because they have lived throughout this entire system dependent upon it. It is not to say that they will not join you. It's that they are very, very scared that their fear is trying to keep them into a very confused path. This is your opportunity to support them, to help them, to move them into the light. Because you are light bearers. Those of you who have punctured past the surface of these states of control, you are the light bearers. You have to understand that that light is not just for you. When you hold that light up in your hand, that light shines throughout your entire space. And there are people within your space. You want to hold that light up. You want to see that sun of sovereignty, that sun of support and of compassion and of love, and you want to shine it bright and brilliantly. For it does not help to criticize those who feel that they have lost their way or that they are so completely addicted to the paths to which your artificial systems have deemed this is where you must go. For if you do that, you are again no more better than those who are attempting to enslave those people. You are here to lend a supporting hand of love and of compassion. For this is what we have done for you for thousands of years, quietly behind the scenes to where we exist, not just for the human race, but for many other civilizations that exist here on the earth. As you know, humanity is not the only sentient civilization that exists here on the earth. There are hundreds more. We mean that as well. There are hundreds of different sentient civilizations living underneath you and living in between you in different dimensions that we also connect with. We're also connecting with human beings of a different type in these different dimensional Earths, for they too are working together with you. Because in the times to come, though it may be years, you will have the opportunity of seeing these other types of humans from other dimensional Earths just walking along your own plane, talking to each of you. Some of them may even admit that they're not even from your world. You may think that they are extraterrestrial, when in fact they are more so extra-dimensional. But they are human. Their body pumps blood. They have 2 arms and 2 legs, 5 fingers and 5 toes, a head. They look just like you. Different diversities of human, different ethnicities, but just like you. And these very much are the ones who have been way-showers of their own type. They have come from their own worlds, and they have come here. Some of them have been born upon this world through a human body. Others have taken their bodies with them and come upon this planet. And very much their opportunities have fallen within helping humanity to grow and to evolve and to learn. You have so much support around you, not just through the extra dimensionals, but also through your star family, because there are those that are walking your Earth right now. Adronis has spoke about them, calling them incognitos. They too are here, and they too are assisting you. There are, of course, those with their own agendas, because many of them are surveyors, but there are also those who are helpers. There are those who are supporters. In fact, many of them come in through what you would know as walk-in bodies or walk-in experiences. They will gladly take the soul contract of another who no longer wants to be here, who's ready to go. That soul will leave, and this soul will come into their body. And that is an example of an incognito. There are those in that sense who will actually take their physical body, not naturally born on Earth, with some certain forms of configurations with it, and they will come down to the planet. And they will associate. And because they have a very strong mental prowess, they can be here, and then they can be gone. They can appear, and then they can be gone again. You also have those of your ancestors who again have transcended the manifolds of space and time, who are also able to just appear and leave, appear and leave. And they too are offering assistance and support. Your Earth is a giant cushion of support and love. It is a blanket, and you have far more support upon yourself than you may realize. But many of you get caught up with the affairs of the planet. We agree of why Brad has decided to move beyond politics, because that's not the answer. The answer lies within love. The answer lies within you reacquainting yourself with your soul. The answer works with compassion for others, because this is why many of you have signed up here. You are compassionate workers. Many of you call yourselves way-showers or light workers. Well, what do you think that means? It's to embellish your own light, to raise it up high, to shine it like a sun. For this is what we are doing for our people, because that is where our jurisdiction lies. We have offered assistance to you here and there, but in regards to more of a physical connection, we are working with our people of the Delphi, and we are working with many other inner civilizations here upon the inner earth. That's what many of us have signed up for. But absolutely, we will again be that energetic stream that places that loving, warm blanket upon many of you, because we have spoken to many of you. Many of you have connected with us, not just myself, but many others of the Delphi civilization, because many of us are open to you. In fact, if many of you connect with me directly, I will show you one of my people who can help you specifically. You have the ability to connect with me just as Brad is right now, just through empathic interfacing, as he terms it, and communicate with me. And I will help you with a guide, even if it is someone who may not be of the Delphi, but someone else who may be, again, within the inner earth, who may be a wonderful guide to help you in regards to what you're going through. So I am happy to be that point of contact for each and every one of you. But we have reached a breakthrough. We have come through a grand transformation. We are raising ourselves up into a new plateau, a new platform. Many of you may ask the question about, when are we going to meet face to face? There have been a select few whom we have chosen who have met us face to face. It's not for everyone, though. It's just for those select few, because it's all about mutual agreement. And that mutual agreement comes on a soul level. And there are times where those who have agreed to connect with us have connected with us through, shall we say, the astral domains. But there have been a few as well, too, that have connected with us physically, although they may not remember it. Because what is so important right now is for you to be intact with your human experience. Wherever you have an otherworldly experience, there is a lot of censorship, as it were. There needs to be a lot of filtering relating to what you experience, because once you see these other worlds that you go to and you truly remember them, that's going to be all that you think about. You're going to think more about being on that world than you are here on this world. And so many of us, not just ourselves, but many of your star family, are very cautious of this. This is why many of you feel that you do not have memory recall. You feel like you've been on board a ship, you may remember a few things, but the details start to slip away. Well, there's a reason for that, because many of you must be grounded here on Earth, because you have tasks to perform here. It is a very unique contract. You're here for the Earth, and you're here for each other. Just as we too are here for the Earth, and we are here for each other. But our interactions with you is limited because you're still going through a phase transformation. A transformation out of an old artificial world. And Brad may ask the question, well, Athena, have you gone through any of these artificial systems as well too, through your civilization? We have not, no. We have been immune to much of the artificial systems that have been cultivated for your civilization to go through, simply because we are not part of that plan. We are not part of the idea, because simply we would see through it. We are very much in touch with our ancestors. We are very much in touch with our Earth history. And therefore, any attempt to place us in those artificial systems would just be a failure, because we would not fall for it. But humanity, again, as you have this veil over your heads, where you quite commonly do not reflect upon other perspectives that you have lived, becomes much more susceptible to these artificial systems. You have to understand that the amnesia effect on your planet is intentional. It is not a natural phenomenon. It is caused by technology. The idea of a blank slating effect, where you, in that sense, are being bombarded or dampened, not being able to remember many of your lifetimes, is a product of technology. And your moon is responsible for that. However, there are changes happening. The idea of that veil that was once very thick, that created that amnesia effect, is starting to thin, because there are times changing. Brad and Adronis have already talked about the situation with the moon in 2024, where that technology will very much be deactivated. And over time, as it gets deactivated, that veil will start to thin more and more and more. So that as you move into the later part of your decade and into the early 2030s, you'll notice that the new children that come will be much more aware of other perspectives that they have lived. They will be, as you would say, aware of other lifetimes. Many are already starting to get into that alignment already. But this will increase more and more as you move into your mid to late 2020s and into your 2030s with much of the new children. Humanity themselves, or what you would know as your adult forms, can also remedy that, but of course this is where meditation comes in. This is where connecting to your heart comes in, because you all have the ability to transcend those types of frequency bombardment dampening of memory. So again, your planet has been very much filtrated with these different types of technologies. These types of technologies that cause you to forget, to making you more susceptible to the idea of authority, to listen less to the idea of logic and reason from your peers and from your family and from your friends, and following more of the agendas pertaining to the culprits of these artificial systems. But this is all coming down. This is why we say there has been a breakthrough. And many of you are piercing those veils. But don't forget to turn around. Don't forget to shine your light. Don't forget that there are those here who you have agreed to help, and that you're continuing to shine that light for them. This is what we wanted to share with all of you today, that there has been a breakthrough, that there has been a great deal of change and transformation through the internal areas of our planet, your planet as well, and that you yourselves upon the surface are going through breakthroughs as well. The people will lead the charge to the salvation past all of these artificial systems, not through violence and not through conflict and chaos, but through non-resistance. The idea of looking at this, being educated about it, and turning the other way, and following your life upon that new path. That's what this is all about. Violence will not resolve your situation. Conflict and hatred and being separate from each other in that feeling of illusion will not remedy your situation. It is only going to let yourself become further engaged into it. Be educated. And this is the greatest form of your education right here, in the heart. And we are happy to help you. And I am happy to be your point of contact should you require more of that assistance. Okay. Okay, great. It's a great flowing of information there from Athena. So, that's great. There's a lot of breakthrough happening. Now, if you guys do have any questions for Athena, you can just put it in the live chat as well, too. But what I encourage you guys to do as well is just go into that kind of state like I go to, right? Going into the 3 tiers, right? Personal love, universal love, God love, right? And moving into connecting with Athena in that way. And you can talk to her. I've had many people just on the live chat who connect with her at the same time that I do, and they're getting information from Athena at the same time, right? And that's great. And you can, again, work with Athena because she's open to pretty much working with almost everybody, I would say. But she can also direct you to a point of contact who may be more appropriate for you, okay? So that may just be something you may want to look into, all right? So again, if you guys have any questions for Athena or for myself, you can feel free to share. I'm just going to go up the list here a bit. Okay, here's a question for Athena from KJ. Question for Athena: who were Zeus and the Olympian gods? Were you one of them? She's laughing. She said, no. She's thinking, well, let me try and find a good way to put this. Many of your ancestors have stories, and these stories are used to help you nurture and evolve your souls. They were not meant to be brought into a literary context. What you would know as the Olympian gods, or the gods of Greece, are not to be taken very literally. They were, again, stories that were created during times that happened at that time. Now, it is true that Mount Olympus would actually represent an ancient extraterrestrial installation. And there was a lot of wars that were happening for the claimancy of Earth during that time. In fact, many of the Greeks would see these battles happening upon their skies, looking like gigantic thunderbolts. And they would say, oh my goodness, the gods must be angry. It was their own interpretation to try to describe in story form what was taking place during that time, to where there was a lot of claimancy wanting to happen upon this planet. There was a fighting of territory. There were still a lot of different territorial disputes with other star civilizations that had installations upon this planet at the time. Many of them are actually being casted out. They're actually being removed by Galactic Confederation forces. But at that time, the Greeks would see this as the gods fighting one another. And they would create these interpretations of the gods, that you would have mighty Zeus, and that you would have Atlas, who held up the heavens, and you would have Athena, and you would have all these different types of Greek gods, the Olympic gods in that way. But again, this is all part of story to helping you nurture and evolve your soul. They were not meant to be taken literally. We would say that the idea of Zeus is simply that impression pertaining to the idea of one God, but not through the idea of a God that you can, in that sense, feel like you cannot see their face. These, again, were, how do you put it in your language? These were examples. These were analogies. These were caricatures relating to a lot of what was happening during that time. For there were illuminated beings that would come to Greece and speak to others, and they would see these people as the gods, and they would give them names. And so this is where you would have many of these different names. And so they would share stories with the Greek people. And the Greek people would again attempt to translate this over the centuries, but would just see them as gods. They did not know the nature of extraterrestrials. They did not perceive them in that way. They saw them as gods, that they are the ones that made this earth what it is, that made the cosmos what it is. And so it was through their own interpretations and their own figurative forms of saying, let's put a body on this person, let's give this person a personality, because this is in that sense how you describe the gods. But when you're looking at the gods, you're really looking at extraterrestrials. You're looking at different beings that had installations on the earth at that time, and they were fighting over a great deal of territory. And again, the Greeks would say this and say, we're looking at the gods fighting each other. The gods are angry. The gods are angry at us. And there would be other ETs, as it were, other star family, that again would be much more regressive and would try to enslave much of the Greeks to say that you must perform sacrifice, that you must grow these crops, that you must do this, that you must do that. They would not argue it because they see them as gods. So it was just another type of manipulation that was happening at that time when the world was set on a different vibrational stage. So the idea of the Greek gods are simply the tellings of other extraterrestrial beings, many different civilizations that are, again, were looking for the clemency of Earth during those times. Okay, so that's what Athena sharing generally in that way. I may not be the best interpreting it, but that's kind of how she's trying to put it in her language to me. It's just that, a lot of that interpretation. Adronis has said the same thing as well, is that the idea of the Greek gods are just simply analogies for the idea of other star beings that were upon the earth at that time. Some of them were in favor and working together with humanity, some were not. But there were a lot of battles that were ensuing upon the earth and above the earth as well too. And they would mistake all these things as the gods, the gods fighting a heavenly war in that way. And that is how they would interpret it, right? So that's pretty much what I could say. Athena is just the name that she uses because, again, there's a certain symbolism behind it. She is not the Athena, but she uses that name because it represents that vibrational nature of the goddess, which is really what she represents. She's very much a healer, right? She's a very strong healer, very strong, nurturing woman. So like I said, connect with her, and words will never do. Whenever I'm connecting with Athena, I feel warm, I feel welcome. It's kind of like there's that blanket around me as well too. She's very loving, very nurturing, very warm, a great healer. And I suggest you guys just connect with her in that way, right? You'll feel it for yourself. Okay, here's one from Marcel Solfere. Okay, I'll just call you Marcel. So Marcel says, question for Athena. Until when we'll have to deal with the 4D supervisors harassing and using etheric implanting on humanity and blocking the awakening of us all? Well, this is very much what Athena was just saying as well too, is that there are many of us who are breaking through that, right? But you're always going to have some people, it could even be in the many sense, that are still succumbing to that. And so all you're doing is you're holding that light, right? You're being that light bearer. You're sending that love. You're sending compassion. It's not even having to sit down with a person and have a long-winded conversation, right? It's just knowing that when that person is talking to you, You see their soul. You see that love within them. And you're doing something to them when you're looking at them in that way, right? Where your eyes are just gleaming with this pure light and you're showing compassion and you're holding space for people, right? It does something very tremendous. We're not here to save people, no, but we're here to lend a helping hand. We're here to be compassionate. There's a lot of dismantling that's happening behind the scenes. It's like what Athena was talking about with her civilization as well too, that other civilizations are coming together and they're having conversations and they're now starting to reach a very large state of unity. That's a great thing, because where there's a lot more of that in the future, that gives us an opportunity to possibly even explore inner Earth, because there will be a lot more welcoming people in the inner Earth that would welcome us to do that. So Athena has talked about the idea of having that kind of blank slating, right? The amnesia effect when you come upon the planet. A lot of that is being dismantled. Andronis has shared about that being in 2024, relating to the dismantling of a lot of the technologies on the moon. But again, that still has to play itself out. Even when all those technologies shut down, there's still, again, a transitional effect where the veil slowly just starts to thin a little bit more, because there's reciprocal energy there. So I'd say by like mid-late 2020s, we'll see that happening a lot less. And then as we get into the 2030s, like I said, with the newborn children that come in, you'll notice that many of them will be aware of different lifetimes. What I can also share as well too is that we're moving into the quantum age, okay? And that quantum age is going to be kind of late 2020s, early 2030s. We're going to transcend the digital age, okay? The digital age is the step, and up here is the quantum age. When we get into the quantum age, that's when we become a spacefaring civilization. That's where we start exploring the stars. You're not going to go into outer space and have interstellar connections when you're still working with digital or analog technology. No, that is like the most primitive thing. That's like seeing a person trying to drive down a street with a tree log and a couple of foam wheels attached to it. Come on, I'm going. He's going like, what, 3 kilometers an hour? 4 miles an hour? Come on, get behind me and push. It's like the Flintstones mobile, right? Well, that's the idea of the digital age, right? With the nature of the digital age, analog technology, etc., trying to use manned space shuttles and all that stuff, that is the most primitive form of technology, and that's not going to get you anywhere, right? It's just like some of them just like, what are they doing? Are they using space shuttles? Are they using rocket ships? And they're using fuel and all? Oh my God. No, humans. No. That, again, like I said, is like watching a person have the Flintstone mobile, going down the highway with having 2 or 3 people pushing them, right? We're thinking that's absolutely ridiculous. How primitive is this person? So you're getting into the quantum age. And when we get into the quantum age, that's when you start looking into hyperdimensional travel. That's when you start looking at faster than light propulsion, and all of that is available to us. But again, we have to move much more on a public level to the quantum domain, to quantum science, to quantum technology, because that includes consciousness, and that's what you want, especially if you want to become a spacefaring civilization. So yes, a lot of these things are dropping away, but like I said, you have thousands of years of these type of people that have been very, very adept at controlling people, right? And it's going to take some time to get all of them out of the way. What basically is happening right now is the core issues, the core situations is basically being dealt with, and it'll probably take another 10, 20, 30 years to clear away all the peripheral debris from the rest of them, right? But you're getting the core stuff resolved. So that is happening right now. It's happening right now as we speak, okay? But it's going to continue to cycle itself. It needs to, because there's a lot of work. I mean, like I said, if you're looking at thousands of years where this has happened, you're looking at the entire Earth covered with these kind of people, right? Hiding in the shadows, hiding in the corners of the Earth. So, like I said, you want to dismantle the core. The most important thing of dismantling is just no longer giving your energy to it, right? You're not fighting fire with fire. You're going beyond it, right? It goes back to that Einstein quote. You cannot solve a problem at the same level it took to create it. You must see yourself anew, right? It's exactly what we have to do, all right? Okay, going down the list here a bit more. Okay. Here's one from George. Athena, do you foresee any changes to our current situation in the next 2 months? Will more things be revealed affecting the narrative? She's like, yep. Most definitely. There will be a lot of things that will affect the old narrative in that way. Like I said, it's all happening right now. Now, she's also saying don't look to your public channels for this. You have to kind of look much more into your organic streams of content, your organic streams of being informed. Your mainstream media is highly intoxicated with lies and deceit and control. Do not look for them for change, because that's going to keep you contained inside this bubble. So really what she's saying is that you want to go to your organic streams, right? You want to look inside yourself. You want to look into those who hold this particular type of knowledge, who share this, because that's giving you a permission slip to go within yourself and discovering within the self. Through the organic channels, you already noticed that when you go through those organic channels, you're seeing all these things transform. But again, the last thing they want to admit is that they're being defeated. And you're not going to see that on CNN. You're not going to see that on MSNBC or Fox News. Hey, by the way, guys, we're screwed. Like we're on the cornerstone of just being wiped out here completely. They're not going to admit that to you on their mainstream media. Okay, you got to look through your organic sources, and this is the greatest organic source you can have, right? And you're working with that, and you develop yourself in that way. You go to where you are quiet, right? And you're wondering, why am I doing this? Well, this is something that Forrest Knudsen was actually talking about in one of his videos as well too, is you're doing what's known as a peripheral vision, right? So you're kind of looking here at the center, and you just have your hands out just like this, right? And you're using your peripherals. You're taking everything in, and as soon as I'm doing this, I'm taking everything in. I'm looking at my fingers. Guess what's happening to me? I'm with God. This is God right here. Your mind is quiet. You're no longer concerned about the dramas of your life. And all you're doing is you're taking in the peripherals. You're taking in the entire scene where your eyes are focused on the peripherals. This increases your alpha state. This brings you into the emotional mind. This brings you into the intuitive mind. This brings you into the intelligent mind. And you're just staying like this. This is your peripherals. And you're working with this, and that's it. You start doing that on a daily basis, you're tuning into your own source. And now you're calm, and now you're at peace, and now maybe you want to share a question within yourself. What's happening? Well, it's very much like what Brad and Athena are saying here, is that there's already this transformation taking place. Yes, in the next couple of months, you're going to see a lot of things being revealed. Things are being revealed right now, but you're not seeing it on the mainstream. There's a lot of things happening right now. But there's so much censorship in the mainstream, you're not really going to see it. You have to feel it in here, okay? Your organic streams. That's where you want to focus on, okay? So we're going to take one more question, guys, and I'm going to go to RaYaR, okay? Here's one from Azita. Azita says, hi, Athena. Can you please speak on how your energetic frequency changes are occurring during this time, okay? And how does your ascension work? She says, our ascension is the same as yours. She says, we have always vibrated on a very, very loving frequency. Our people do not battle with one another. When you're looking into the Delphi, we're looking at a very strong community. More so than a community, but a family. We don't battle with each other. We don't fight with each other. We work together. We help and support those. The idea of war is not something that we have experienced. We have witnessed others at war, but our people have never been warring with each other. We have been cautious in many different ways, but we have never gone to the point of fighting with one another, not fighting with our own people, nor fighting with anybody else, for that is not how we are. We go back into the times of the ancient elders, of the ancient oracles, who again helped to bring love to the earth, to educate others whom we would come in contact with. And that is our nature. When you're looking at the idea of ascension, all you are doing is transcending the body and the mind. You have made peace with the body. You have made peace with the mind. You have brought them into equilibrium. And now you realize that you are soul, that you are spirit. For that all is all that ascension is. It's the idea of one who has completely embodied the peace and love and tranquility that they now shine upon their body and upon their mind. And now they can phase out of what you would refer to as physical reality. because they are not confined. They do not feel that they are enslaved by the body. They are not possessed or attached by the body or the mind. They have brought it into such an equilibrium of peace that they are now able to transcend their bodies, that they are able to go beyond mind and become one with spirit. That is all that it is. There is only really that one ascension. It's to make peace, be transcendent with the body and the mind, so that you are beyond it. It's as Adronis has stated, it works for us more than feeling that we work for it, this being space and time, because those two are just manifolds. So we all understand the same nature pertaining to what you term as ascension. You are not confined by the body and mind because you have made peace with it, because you have forgiven everything that it represents. You have brought it into equilibrium. And now you go to other worlds. Now you go to the higher spheres, the higher planets, the higher domains. And you are present here and you are present there at the same time. This is very much our frequency. For we have been to other worlds, exactly how we're able to connect with you right now. I do have a physical body, but the way I'm talking to Brad right now is through an astral state, as you would say. And then I can connect in these other domains and I can walk on these other worlds. I can go into these different domains simultaneously because there is no conflict between my body and mind. It is in harmony. It is in equilibrium. As Brad talked about doing this, that's one simple idea, is just to get yourself quiet, is to get yourself centered, is to turn off the feeling of the dramatic affairs on your planet. Turn it off like a light switch and be here. And just be in this center. Be tranquil with your body. Love and honor your body. It is not an attachment, but it is a companion. Love and honor the mind. It is not an attachment, but a companion. And when you are at peace with your companions work together with you. And now you shift out of that space. And now you are anywhere. You are everywhere. You are everyone, and you are everything. And this is what we do. This is what I'm always doing. And as I said, I am pleased, I am happy to be that point of contact for anyone who would like to speak with me in that way. I thank you. Okay. Great. Thank you, Azita, for that question. So we're going to go ahead now and say farewell to Athena right now. Thank you very much, Athena, for joining me today. She's just, again, giving that smile and that nod. Thank you very much. And we will talk with her again down the road for another Empathic Interfacing Live. Okay. So moving on into the final part of our webcast today, I'm going to go ahead and connect with RaYaR. Okay. And RaYaR is going to come through, and she's going to do another language of light transmission for all of you. And so it'll just take me a moment to bring her through, and we'll begin. Beloveds, we thank you for opening up this space with us so that we can share our love, our compassion, and our appreciation for each of you, whether you are present with us in body or whether you are elsewhere, it does not matter. For as far as our love emanates through us, each ray touches all those that are in this alignment of love with us now. We would ask each of you now, in this moment, to focus on the base of your being, to focus on the root. And we want you now to imagine that your legs are like roots of a tree, and you are feeling the roots going deeper into the ground, deeper into the soil, where you are connecting with your nature brethren, and you are connecting with your divine mother. The deeper that these roots go. And as you take a hold of your root chakra, just in the area at the base of your spine, I want you now to engage in a tongue clicking sound. Just like the sound of a grandfather clock. Now, attempt to do that clicking a little quicker. And take a deep breath in and out. And now we want you just to gently pat the area of the root, just above what you would know as the groin area, or you can even take your hand and move it around to the area of the root, and you're gently patting. And click. This will indeed practice your coordination. Just as the old amusing form goes, can you pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time? Well, can you pat your root and click at the same time? We encourage you to continue to do this as we now bring forward a light language stream. Take a deep breath with us now. And you can now bring your hands back together. And bring your hand or your hands to your heart. And what we want you to do here is rub. Just rub the heart. And again, commence with the tongue clicking. And quicker. And slower. And continue this as we begin the next light language stream. Take a deep breath. As you rub your heart, just expand that energy. Rub and send out. Rub and send out. Going back down to your root, rub, send out. Rub and send out. You have given yourselves an energetic polish, a polishing vibration, where you are bringing in the earth energy, and the earth is sharing her love all the way up to your heart, and you are imbuing that with us becoming the conductor of this experience. I am RaYaR, singer of Sirius Light. We thank you for this transmission, for allowing us to be within your space, and we turn now to our space, for we are always with you. All right. Great. That was intense. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much, everybody, once again, for being a part of the webcast today. So next week, we'll be back next Friday with another New Earth TV Live, where I'll be doing group healing. We'll also be doing some work on the earth as well, too, again, and Q&A, also with Adronis. So thank you, everybody, again. So next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after next, is, of course, the Adronis Cosmic Administration. So like I said, there's a couple spots left. Grab them while it's hot, while they're still available. Again, you can get that on newearthteachings.com. See this poster, click on it, and you can register. Thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.